Well, here we are, the fourth Sunday of Advent. A week from now will be the day after Christmas, and you'll be saying, what do we do with all this stuff? And when can we take the tree down and put all this stuff away? All right, that's going to be our mindset then. This coming week is very important, though. But today, in our gospel, we're reminded that all things are possible with God. We are renewed through Him and with Him. And that God sent His only Son into the world not to condemn it, but to save it. So, let's take a step back here. June 6, 1944, known as D-Day. There may be some veterans here, children of veterans, grandchildren of veterans. Obviously, thank you for the service, for your service to our country, because freedom isn't free. But what were they doing there? It's June, right? It's nice and warm. Did they go there to sit on the beach and get a tan? No. Did they go to Paris so they could have some coffee and some nice French pastries? No. They went there because an evil megalomaniac was trying to take over the world, starting with Europe. The Japanese were going to take over Asia. And they had already made a deal that when they did that, they were going to take over the United States. Germany was going to have everything from the Rockies east. Japan was going to have everything from the Rockies west. They had already carved up our country. And we said no, right? We said no, this is not going to happen. The evil one, Hitler, was defeated, right? Even though he was defeated, did his ideology go away? No, there are still people in the world who believe in his ideology, which is not good. The next thing, why did he come here? Why did he bother to come here? Well, he came here for the same reason that we went to France and Germany. Because an evil fallen angel of maniacal beliefs was bent on taking over the world through sin. Did he win? If you look around the world today, you look at the internet, you look at all the news, you look at all the stuff going on, you'd say, wow, did Jesus really reign victorious? He came, but was it in vain? Right? So let's go back to the creation story, right? God created Adam and Eve. He created them, the garden, and then we had the fall. The evil one tempted, right? And that was it. Sin started everywhere. It started to reign everywhere. God lost his world. He had this world in his mind, his great world that he created and how perfect he wanted it to be, and then sin entered it. His creation, his grand plan was ruined. So what did he do? He sent a lot of prophets over the years to help people, to guide them, to reconnect them to him. And it didn't work. So he sent his only Son to do the job. We live in a broken world. You see it all around you. It appears that Jesus' life was pretty much spent in vain. But most importantly, he wants us to be reunited with him. He wants his grand plan back. He wants everything the way that he wanted it to be at the beginning of creation. So the question is, was Jesus' life in vain? No. Was the devil conquered? Yes. When we attacked France to get to Hitler, and the Russians were coming in from the east, Hitler knew. Hitler knew at that point he would lose the war. He didn't know when, he didn't know how, but he was hoping for a miracle, right? He had all these advanced weapons and missiles and jet planes he was working on, things, and a bomb that he was working on, hoping to get there, that he would win. In reality, he knew he would not win. When Jesus was born, the same is said of the devil. The devil knew he would not win. He knew he would lose. And at one point, God would bring us all back in communion with him and his Son and the Holy Spirit. He knew it. But was he defeated? Yes. Was he eliminated? No. That's why we say the St. Michael the Archangel prayer at the end of Mass, because there are still an evil one searching, looking for souls to steal. Right? There's a Charlie Daniels song in there somewhere. Jesus conquered the evil one. When he did that, when he died and was resurrected, he opened the gates of heaven to each of us. That was the beginning of bringing us all back together with him. The first thing is to open up heaven so that we could get there, so we could be reunited with Jesus and the Father. So that was the beginning of it all. While he was on this earth, he gave us the model to live our lives, how to be, right? Everything he did was perfect. There's nothing he did that we should not follow. Everything he did, we should try to follow. Most importantly, he offers you his unlimited love. And here we are, 6 days before he comes again. 6 days for us. 4 weeks ago, we celebrated the solemnity of Christ the King, King of the universe. He truly is the King of the universe. I was at that Mass. But to me, King of the universe sounds really cool and when you start thinking about it, in reality, he is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. All things came through him for us as a model of how to live our lives. So some things for you to ponder this week. And I want you to focus on these things. Because we so often get hung up in the materialistic part of this month, this week, you name it, right? I'll give you an example, which has kind of been a blessing to me, I will say. I have offered not to set up a Christmas tree or any of the other stuff for years to my wife. Well, and our kids, they're grown. And this year is the first year that we won't have any kids at our house. It'll just be the two of us. So my wife and I decided we put up the tree. No ornaments. The tree has lights, so it looks pretty. Nothing else. The tree. Nothing else came out. We have many boxes of things and our house looks beautiful when my wife sets it all up. It looks beautiful. But this year, we have a tree. For me, that's important to help me focus on what's really important this week. It's not the presents. It's not the house. It's not Christmas dinner. It's not the gifts. It's your family. It's your friends. It's your unity with him who is coming again. And that's what we're called to recognize and to understand the significance of, is the birth of Jesus and how it changed our lives, how it ended the devil's reign that had been for centuries, and how we will be reunited with him again. That's going to be in another homily, which I will explain a little bit. So my questions are, you got to go back yet, I got to read those. We celebrate his coming. Question is, do you want to be united with him in heaven? That's your choice. It is your choice. He wants every one of us to be reunited with him in heaven one day. But it is your choice if you want to follow the evil one. God cannot stop you from doing that. So that's a choice that you make. And you make that choice every day. If you do want to be in heaven with him, do you live your life in accord with his teachings? The all-powerful scriptures that we read and we hear from, which are the example of how to live our lives, and the parables and the teachings. Are we connected to them? And the biggest thing, how does this affect your life? How should this affect your life? How does this coming of the Lord drive you to be different, to look at it differently this year than years past, for the glory of God that it is? That's your challenge for this week. I just wanted to say real quickly that the idea for that homily came from the diaconate convocation that my wife and I attended in Boyne back in October, and it's part of Father John Riccardo's Acts 23 program. So if you're interested in learning more about this, Acts 23, I don't know if it's .org or .com, but it's out there.